Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Moon card. Very interesting. This is a narrowing lunar aperture, right? This is a kind of a darkening of the spiritual perception. Okay, and you may even be feeling that like spirits kind of left you alone in the universe, or that you're in that tunnel and like your torch like went out. You know what I mean? And maybe we're just like flicking matches to see, and it just quickly goes out. I feel like we're starting to kind of, starting to have a little bit of freak out, really, right? Because it feels like, oh my God, I'm here, I'm alone, I don't know which way is up, I can't see my hand in front of my face here, what am I supposed to do? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? So I wonder if you've been searching for something for a while, yeah? And we're starting to have that moment, it's just that, almost that feeling of panic, right? Where we think, I don't know. You realize where you are, It's kind of like if you're doing some just really kind of crazy event, right? You're doing some kind of a sports thing, or you're like tightrope walking, or I don't know. You're doing some kind of dangerous thing, really. There's really intense activity, and you're fine as long as you don't think about it. Once you start thinking about it, we panic. It's kind of the Wile E. Coyote syndrome, right? As long as he's just running across the cliff over the ravine in midair, he's fine. But as soon as he stops and realizes what's going on, that's it, right? So I kind of feel like we're in that state now where we're starting to kind of panic a little bit. Because I feel like Leo, the stereotype is you have this kind of never-ending confidence, right? That you're always just standing up tall with your chest out and your head back, and you can handle anything, and nothing could bother you, and it's almost as if you have no feelings, right? And of course, we think of the cowardly lion, from The Wizard of Oz. I think the truth is somewhere in between. I think you've got tremendous heart. I think you have tremendous confidence. But sometimes, even the strongest of us have these little moments of panic, Sometimes we freak out a little bit. And I don't know if maybe you're on the cusp of cancer, too. I think that could be part of what's going on. But I feel like right now we're kind of searching for direction. I feel like we're starting to realize it's almost like it suddenly hits me how old I am and what I'm doing in my life and where I am, and it's just it's a holy, kind of moment. And I wonder if you're having one of those now. But we need to put this into some context, because I feel like the secret is in this card itself. There's that little sun at the bottom. And it's kind of saying, no, sun, the spiritual light has not abandoned you. It goes in cycles, right? Well, there's these, and I don't know the duration of your cycles, but I feel like we have these times of really really vivid kind of visions, really intense experiences with spirit. And then there's these other times where it kind of wanes a little bit, like is happening here. And we almost feel as if no matter how much I pray or meditate or think or contemplate or no matter how open I try to be, feel like I'm not getting any help here, And it's kind of maybe even a situation where you don't even know who you can trust in your practical life, right? That we're just kind of suspicious about everything. We see an image in the world and we just think, I don't know if that's real or not. Is this real or am I dreaming? Well, let's put this into some context. We need some more cards here, of course. There's the light. There is your torch returning. That's beautiful. I feel like this is what we're doing. We're trying to find that sunlight again. And maybe it's Spirit's way of saying, look, I'm going to turn off the lights in the room. You've got to find your flashlight, right? You got to find your Zippo or something to use your own light. And so really it feels like sometimes we're tested in these ways. But I really love this. This is that torch. This is Indiana Jones going into the Temple of Doom. It goes through that weird corridor thing where this is that torch, right? And you're finding a way to get it lit again. So in a lot of ways, this is teaching us some independence. It's teaching us a little bit of self-reliance. And I feel like in your life, you're learning to rely on yourself, because I don't think there's that trust in others right now, okay? Not that we think other people are out to get us or anything like that, but it's just that we don't know really what to believe, and that's part of this lunar energy, right? It's part of, as the night gets darker and darker and darker, we don't know if what I'm seeing is real, if it's really a shadow, or if it's my mind kind of just projecting like light and blobs of light everywhere. You ever have that where you turn off the lights, it's really, really dark, but you still kind of see things moving? Maybe I just got to get my eyes checked. But I feel like I feel like we kind of project some images onto that blackness around us. Okay, and that's what I mean. We're not sure if what I see is real. So it's almost like we're better off closing our eyes, kind of, a la Luke Skywalker, and use the Force. I know that sounds stupid. It sounds like a cliche, and it is. But it's kind of like trusting that intuition, trusting our own spiritual light, because I can't trust my eyes. Okay? Well, let's see what are you searching for? What are you finding in this unknown land? I feel like you've started something in your life. You're in the middle of something in your life that you've never done before. Nobody has done before. Nobody around you, at least, has done before. So I feel like going through this lunar energy here is kind of like not so much a dark night of the soul, but it's kind of like you're going on a quest through the dark forest, right? But you're learning to use your own light. Now, what's underneath the surface? More light. More light is a Queen of Wands. There could be a Sagittarius person close to you in your life. This is some Sagittarius energy. So if you don't know too much about your astrological chart, there's a link in my video description where it's free. I don't know the website. I'm not affiliated with it. But it's just a free thing where you can plug in your birthday information. It'll show you where all your houses and all your signs and planets and so far. It's pretty cool. So maybe there's some Sagittarius in your chart that's prominent, or something's going on there. But down beneath the surface is where we've got this Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands, a lot of fire on the outside, right? It's really this really tall stature, and it's almost like we do kind of puff ourselves up, make ourselves look a lot bigger than we are, right? And animals do that, right? And people do that, kind of puff our chests out so we are a little more intimidating, But inside is that water energy. It's the Queen. It's the water, right? And it's kind of like this. It's almost a knowledge of self, right? And I feel that we know that we are sensitive, emotional creatures. We know that we are fallible. We know that we are vulnerable. We are mortal beings, right? But we put on a brave face and we go around in the world as if nothing can hurt us, And I think that this is something that you're kind of coming to terms with, especially when we're out here. We have this realization, we're in the middle of this dark, scary forest, and we think, oh my God, I'm a sitting duck, I'm a mortal being, I just realized that, and it's a kind of a freak out, Let's see what's connected in the past here. I feel like the Queen. I feel like this is really a lot of confidence in you. But I want to see what else is going on that we can maybe put some context into into that. Okay, the Six of Cups here. This is in the past position. This is a kind of pleasure, a kind of harmony, a kind of beauty that I feel like you're kind of moving away from. I kind of feel as if it's holding you back a little bit. And this might really be kind of a comfort thing. So I wonder if you're involved in something right now in your life that is kind of challenging your comfort, that's making you a little bit uncomfortable. Obviously, if you're in this dark forest, you've gone away from the safety of your kind of family, of the home, of the kind of the safe, where the fireplace, the hearth, you've gone away from the safety of your village or your family or your home or your people, your community, and you ventured off into this unknown land. So I wonder if maybe in your life there is something like that going on, if there's a split from family, if it kind of feels as if we are venturing out into the world without anybody, maybe some friends and family here and there, but really we're on our own, right? I don't know if you've had maybe some kind of an issue or a falling out with family members. Maybe this is an older female energy in your life that we've had this falling out with, that we've moved away from. Okay? I feel like this is kind of a quest for independence for you. Yeah. This really could be a representative of you. This is down beneath everything, again, underneath the surface, kind of in your soul energy. And it could be that moving away from this kind of safety or comfort has really been a frightening thing. It's been scary. But you're putting on this brave face. You're saying, yep. And we see that kind of motif in a lot of stories, about somebody that is doing something really, really scary. And they're kind of like really, really nervous, but they just, they puff themselves up. They say, I'm not scared, And especially we see it with, there's been a lot of motifs like this in TV shows and movies and books and things where there's a kid that kind of, wants to go do something on their own, and the parents say, no, well, you really shouldn't. And the kid says, I can do it, I'm not scared, watch me. And then walks up to the forest and is about to go in and is like, oh, I'm scared. But looks back and the parents are watching, so the kid just kind of, picks themselves up and they go in. And so I feel kind of that's what's going on with you, but I don't know what the Six of Cups is for you. If it's a family thing, if this is the safety of a previous relationship or the kind of security of a job that you've been with for a while, something's been very, very comfortable, right? And I feel like you're out here looking for this challenge. You're trying to say, I'm going to go do the scary thing because I don't want to get too comfortable. I don't want to just wallow in luxury and pleasure of life. I want to I want to go and do something and discover something and, and see what I'm made of, perhaps, right? You're on this quest, and I think it's good for you. Let's see what the purpose maybe is. Oh, look at that. It's the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Queen's fire and earth now. Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. I like the fire and the earth. I think you kind of want to take your own energy out into the wilderness and build something of your own. You want to make something of your life that you can be proud of. And so maybe this is you, again, kind of maybe moving away from the family or splitting with, with the group to go find your own success, to make a name for yourself, doing it on your own independently with your will and your ideas. Okay. This is this is our future self, looking back at the long and scary road that you just walked through the scary forest. You see that? This is you in the future, having this life that you've built around you, having all of this success around you. This is all yours. You built this, and you're able to look back at the path you took through this dark, scary forest. And I think there's relief. I made it, I'm here, I'm safe, and I've succeeded, right? This is kind of you at the end of the journey. You got through that dark, scary forest, you made it, right? And I think you can be very proud of yourself, and you can look around at your kingdom and you can say, I built this, I did this. I made something of my life. As difficult, as scary as it was, I did it with my own spiritual force and fortitude. Okay. So it could be, something, that Six of Cups could be something family, could be a relationship, a job, anything that kind of gave us this sense of comfort. And now we're really out here where it's not so comfortable, right? I like the fire and the earth manifestation, right? Impulse to behavior, the inspiration to manifestation. Okay. And so I think in your heart, you really know that you are capable of great, great things, right? So really tapping into this fire energy in yourself, and it's almost kind of like you're scared of going into that dark forest, but you're going to do it anyway. And maybe we feel as if we still have that kind of, we still have the accompaniment of the divine energy. Yeah. And so I feel like this is really the gold. I feel like this is you striking gold by mustering up this courage to go into this dark and scary wilderness, right? And do something new, do something different, do something that you're going to be proud of. Let's see what's in the. I love this so much. In the future position, we've got the Three of Pentacles. This card of work, right? It's going to work if you work it. Yeah. And this is Mars in Capricorn. This is hard work. This is physical labor, right? To build this. So to get from fire to earth, to get from this grand idea in your soul to the grand idea now manifested and crystallized on earth for you, by you, it's going to require a lot of work. Okay, and it's going to require a lot of work to maintain. So these cards kind of go that way and feed into what this future outcome is. And this is kind of you wanting to do that hard work, right? Wanting to establish something that then is kind of your responsibility, and it's going to require all of your efforts, all of your attention. These two cards are very different. This is luxury, right? This is just relaxing. I don't have to lift a finger. I'm getting a little soft. I'm just enjoying my life, and I don't have to do anything. This here is the exact opposite. This is really lean. This is really grueling physical work, right? And so it couldn't be more different than the Six of Cups. But let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here, and we're going to put our very own Kelly Kapoor right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. It really does help out the channel, and I'm so, so grateful for all of you. I really am. General energy now. Path of the Serpent. What do we have? Five of Pentacles. Yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, right? Anytime you go from a 6 to a 5, it feels like a pretty devastating blow, right? Could you imagine, you're living this life of luxury. Suddenly you're just thrown into this kind of this world where you've got to fend for yourself, and you've got to, you've got to grow your own food and all this kind of stuff, and I don't know, you've got to do all of this work. Everything is your responsibility now. Back here, we just snap our fingers and something comes to us. We ring a little bell and we get what we need, right? But then moving into this future is, it's work. Now we've got to be the one to, if we want something, we have to go find it or create it. Okay. And so 6 to a 5, it really feels like things are getting more difficult, right? But I feel like this is the difficulty of satisfaction. This is the kind of hard work that makes you feel good, right? And so I feel like this is a more meaningful energy for you. This is your general energy. And I feel like you're ready to work. You're ready to do this, do the hard work, if it means that you are creating something for yourself that you did with your ideas and your energy, right? So, are we splitting from a group here? Are we going independent in some form or fashion, right? Well, let's see what the card of the environment is. Transformation. This is a long-term transformation for you. It's not something that I think we kind of did overnight. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something that's going to materialize overnight at the snap of your fingers, right? And that's kind of the point. It's something that has to be fought for and won, right? It has to be worked hard for. Now, the death card in the position of the environment, we could take it literally, and maybe there was something kind of unexpected. Maybe this wasn't necessarily a choice for you to split with that comfortable place. Whatever, if it was a relationship, a family thing, a company, a business, a job you had, or a living situation, maybe whatever that Six of Cups is. Perhaps it was not a voluntary change. Perhaps it was something that just kind of happened, and suddenly you found yourself in that moon energy, that dark, scary wilderness, right? But this is kind of what you're responding to. It's this long-term change now. This is something that is really going to take time to develop. It might be an involuntary change, but it might have been a change that you kind of knew was coming. At some point, you knew it was going to happen, whether this was you intentionally going into that forest or if it's just something that kind of happened because of circumstances, right? But that's the card of spiritual evolution as well. And I think that here we get stuck in this kind of moment. We almost feel like this feels so good in the moment that nothing will ever change, and this is how it's going to be for all eternity. The 5 reminds us that everything is always in flux. Okay, anytime we get a 6, we know we're either going to fall back to a 5 or forward to a 7. It doesn't stay here forever. This is the 6 of any suit is that moment on a roller coaster where you're at the very top, the very crest of a hill, and you feel that weightless feeling. And maybe it feels sometimes like it lasts forever, and we want it to last forever because that really feels good. And then we're either going to fall backwards because there's not enough forward momentum, or we're going to plunge right down and we're going to keep going, but we're going to be hit with gravity again, It's just that moment of weightlessness at the very top. And it lasts really for a split second, but it feels the best, I mean, for some people, I guess. I don't know. I like that point of the roller coaster anyway. But you get my point. The 5 of Pentacles is, of course, in that analogy anyway, if we go from a 6 to a 5, it's almost as if we didn't have enough momentum and we're kind of falling back. So the death card, are we starting over? Do we have to go out into this wilderness and kind of build our life up from the ground up? Right? Is that what the 5 of Pentacles is? Coupled with that death card, are we having to rebuild? Right? Was there not enough momentum to keep us going forward? We kind of rolled backwards a little bit. That's okay, because now we were able to build this up in a way that I feel is more in line with your personal spiritual goals and your life goals. But let's see what the obstacle is here. Oh, look at that. Past and future here together. We don't very often get the Queen and the Knight of Pentacles in the same reading. This is pretty good. I feel like this is the moment where your life changes. I feel like you really are striking some sort of gold here. Even if this is an involuntary shift for you, or if this is something that you said, you know what, I'm leaving here and I'm going into the dark, scary forest. Whatever it was, that was gold. That was you striking spiritual gold, right? Because not only do you have the appreciation of the past, and the Queen of Pentacles is looking back at the 6 of Cups, right? And that's kind of you understanding where you've been in order to understand future, understand where you're going. So we have that ability to look at the past and distill the kernels of wisdom from the past. And with the Queen of Pentacles, there's always the chance that we'll get stuck in the past, that we'll be longing for that 6 of Cups again, that this whole slow hike through the dark, scary forest, the whole time we're thinking, I never should have left. Oh, I had it so good. Oh, I miss all the whatever apple cider that I had. We miss that comfort, that we miss that past thing that we left. And the whole time we're walking forward, we're just in this nostalgia. and we start thinking like, oh, all the food I used to cook, or all that relaxation, all the time I spent just lounging on the couch, that now I'm just kind of struggling to put one foot in front of the other to keep pushing forward, right? We don't want to get stuck in the past. Yeah. So what this card shows then is the need for us to turn things around and start looking toward the future. This is the card that implies we need a turning point. The turning point, really the hinge of these two cards, going from past to future, right? There's the hinge. The queen needs to spin around and look at the future, and well, that's what we've got here. This is the future card. This is the card that is looking at the future. And so we're on this really grueling walk through the forest. And instead of our mind and our heart wishing for the past and our mouth is watering for what we used to have, and we're missing it and all that stuff, now we're thinking about the future. Where am I going to be? What is going to be at the end of this? Who am I going to be? What am I going to be doing? What are all the miracles that I will see? What are all the treasures that I'm going to find? And then we start kind of salivating for that, right? Now we're just hungry for the future, and this keeps us maybe walking strong, right? Putting a lot of force in our steps and maybe walking faster. And so I feel like this is, well, it's the obstacle for you. It's the difficulty. So we don't want to cling too much to what this was, because we'll start to miss it. Okay, whatever it was, we'll start to miss it. If this was a relationship, if this was a business thing, if this was a creative endeavor, whatever it was, we're going to miss that. So we have to then let the queen turn around and look forward. Start getting hungry for the future, right? And what is the future going to be? High Priestess. See now, ooh, this is good. This really is going to change your life. I feel like you have totally struck gold here, because if this is the moon card, this is the narrowing lunar aperture, right? The darkness, we're getting further and deeper into the forest, and we're losing that light, that psychic, the foresight or the spiritual connection, or the feeling that the divine light is here and we can, the High Priestess is the full moon, the waxing, the widening of the psychic lunar aperture. So you've got the light dimming here. But then as we keep walking, and if we can learn to look forward instead of backward, we're going to have an increase of that divine light, and we're going to realize that Spirit has been here the whole time, and that we can see the future, and we can see through this forest. It's not scary anymore. And all these shadow things that I thought I saw that kind of made me jump and startle, now I can see what they are, just furry animals and plants and stuff, right? Maybe some snakes, so you got to be careful still. But now we can see things for what they really are, the good and the bad, rather than everything being kind of mysterious and shadowy, and So this is really tremendous. High Priestess energy at the end here. So I don't know what you're moving toward. I don't know what you're building, but I know that it is going to be exactly what you want it to be. But we have to accept this energy, and we have to kind of learn these lessons. We have to be able to shift our energy forward and let go of our connection with what we've maybe physically walked away from. We have to now kind of like spiritually, psychically walk away from it too, right? And start looking for, get hungry for the future. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card, my favorite part. Maybe this will give us some sort of revelation about the success in the future. It could be a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. Could be a 9 or a 10 of Cups. It could be a Leo card, one of your power cards. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. All right. Now's your chance. Let's see what we have. Page of Wands. Interesting. Interesting with the Page of Wands. And so now we've got the Knight, the Queens, and now we've got a Page. The Page of Wands might really be one. I feel like it's kind of this idea of taking a risk. Yeah, it's kind of this idea of learning how to wield our fiery energy, learning how to wield our will, our intention, right? Our consciousness, learning how to use this thing, right? Learning how to use this thing. And so this is a confirmation that it may feel as if we are in that dark and scary wilderness and we're just kind of a victim of circumstance, right? Or we're just subject to all of this stuff going on around us that we really have no control over anything. This is the reestablishment of control. Control over yourself, of your attention. Are you looking at the past or are you looking at the future? It's your energy to control. The page is saying maybe we're trying to get the hang of that again. Because if we're getting soft here with the Six of Cups, it might be hard. Our willpower might have, not diminished, but it might be a little clouded, right, by things. Inertia is a hell of a drug, If we spend too much time not doing things, not asserting ourselves, not exercising our willpower, it's very difficult to get it going again. It takes a stronger force to move that object, right? That inertia. An object at rest, well, we're going to stay at rest unless there's a pretty big force to move us. And I think that's what the page is doing, exercising our willpower, practicing, doing little things, setting a little tiny intention, right? That says, at 5 p.m. tonight, I'm going to hop on one foot, for 5 seconds, right? A little thing, dumb even, right? But it's an exercise of willpower. And the more we do that, and then 5 o'clock will come around and you'll be like, oh, I'm busy, I don't want to do it, it's a real test. Try it, right? Try it. Do simple things like that. That just says, okay, I'm going to look at this little stone here for 30 seconds. And I'm just going to look at this and I'm going to appreciate the colors. I'm going to see that obviously it's a little lion. Something simple like that. And set a random time throughout your day. But when your alarm goes off, you better do it. It'll be hard. It's a simple thing, but it is those little simple things that really start to build up that willpower. I think this is really good. This is really good stuff for you. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there is a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Leo every Tuesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from, especially if this is your first time here. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I appreciate you. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.